talk game, you know what I mean, and keeping my mouth shut.
Well, I just want to know where your head's at in case you have to break a tie.
Out of it as much as possible. Tomorrow I'm going to see where people's heads are at and see what they want to do. Because, again, today I've done my best to just...
Okay, see, when you say that, then it scares me, because earlier before you were saying that you were still going to vote
well, I know,
for,
but I'm just saying,
break a tie.
I'm not going to tell anybody where my head is at until I, one, have made a decision, and two, I've heard everyone out.
So now you're like rethinking it?
I'm not rethinking it. I'm just telling you that Christy could ask me the same question, and I'm not going to tell her yes or no. And until I hear from people what they want to do, then I'll make a decision. But I have to think about myself moving forward, and I have to hear where people's heads are at and the reason why they're thinking the things they're thinking. But Christy could come in here 5 minutes from now and ask me, hey, if there's a tie, where are you going to break it? And I'm going to tell her the same thing, that one, I don't know. And two, even if I did, I wouldn't say anything, but I don't know because I haven't heard everyone out, because everyone else in the house doesn't know. They're told reasons for why their heads are where they are. Then I'm not going to say anything and potentially jeopardize myself with other people. You know what I mean? So I'm going to sit back, and I will be the last one probably to make up their mind, because until then, I don't want to shoot myself in the foot going forward, especially coming off the past 21, 28 days when I've literally been living in this room and didn't have a pot to piss in. I don't want to screw myself over going forward. You know what I'm saying? I got to look out for my own self, because ultimately I've been made clear that the only person that's got my back is me. You know what I mean? So I'm not going to tell anybody anything. I'm going to hear people out, but I'm not giving any input to anybody, because at the end of the day, I don't owe anybody any input. But also, I don't want to screw myself over and say the wrong thing if people are going to... Why would I say that I'm going to vote to keep Sis, and then everyone votes to keep Christy, and then there I am fucked? And vice versa. I'm not going to say I'm going to vote to evict Christy, and then everyone keeps her, or I'm going to vote to evict Sis in a tie, and then everyone keeps her, and then I'm screwed. You know what I'm saying? So once I hear where everyone's at, then I'll make my decision, if that makes sense. But I've given the house two difficult nominees, two tough choices. And I'm waiting to hear what people have to say, because as of right now, the only thing that I've gathered, again, I've stayed in my room listening to music all day, intentionally to stay out of it. But from the few things that I've heard, people are torn 50-50, even more so than last week, because y'all are two great girls on a personal level, and on a game level, everyone loves you. You know what I mean? And I don't want to see you cry. I hate seeing you cry.
It just sucks.
I hate seeing you upset. It breaks my heart. And
It just sucks. You told me that I was going to be a pawn this week and that I wasn't going to go, but now everything has fucking flipped and reversed, and there's other people in this fucking house who should have been up on the block rather than me. And that's what sucks. And that's what I hate. Because if you're thinking of keeping Christy so she could go after Nick, you could have just fucking went after Nick this week.
I've made it clear. I've voiced to the entire house, and I've voiced to people.
He could have went up on the block and
to America, and I've voiced it to everyone in this house who my target was and why. Because she's the biggest obstacle between me and winning. I've made it clear that her strengths are my weaknesses. That she is the biggest threat on a competitive level to my game. I mean, I made the decision that I did for these nominees for dozens of reasons. And I thought about it from every possible angle. It was a well thought out decision. And it was an elaborate game move that I had to make for various reasons.
Then there's literally one reason why you're keeping her, and that's because you know she's going after Nick when you literally could have went after Nick yourself.
I've never said I want to go after Nick.
Then what would be the point of keeping your target?
I don't have to answer that. I'm not answering anything, and I'm not telling anybody who I want to keep or who I don't want to keep. And I'm not being a dick, but honestly, like, I don't have anybody in this game. I've heard people say it. It's been made clear through actions. I mean, there was a deal made and constructed to get me out of the house.
But that I didn't make the deal.
I'm not saying you did. Going to give any sort of input to anybody. I want everyone to make the decision that's best for their game. I've given the house 2 nominees to pick from and ultimately to evict tomorrow night. And it is up to each individual person as to where they cast their vote without my input. And that is why I'm staying out of it. I'm not telling you. I'm not telling Christy. I don't want anyone to feel like I'm going a certain direction. I'm not telling Holly. I'm not talking game with Holly. I'm not letting her talk to me about it, and I'm not talking about it with her.
Mm-hmm.